Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Eve Galanter, and I would like to introduce Martha Siravo, running for Madison School Board Seat 3. As we begin, Martha, please give an opening statement about the educational, vocational, and civic experience that you have, which prepares you for this office, and why you are running for school board.
I thank you for having me. This is really exciting, getting into the nitty-gritty of running a campaign, which is something I've never done before. But definitely just a great opportunity. Excited to put this in my wheelhouse. Uh, I have been living in Madison since 2012. I'm a single mom to a beautiful little girl who goes to Hamilton. She's in sixth grade. She does have a full IEP behind her. And I found my passion for public schools and kind of a niche for special education as she was going through her school tenure because she has epilepsy and cerebral palsy. So that requires her to have a pretty heavy team behind her. As I started learning more about the school system and talking with more parents around me, I helped found Mantle Mamas and Disability Advocates. I have been working with that group since 2019. And I'm the one who works directly with families on the ground, kind of getting families through the woods, being present for IEPs, getting people connected to other resources. And that's really kind of what drives me to where I am today. Doing so much of that work, I've really got an understanding to how complex the educational system is, how much I want the best for all our kids. Because every single time I'm in a situation, it's not just you. There's a slew of families out there that are dealing with similar problems. And sometimes they just need a listening ear. I've had that before. I think advocates are important across the board, um, alongside being part of that really important group here in Madison. I was a co-coordinator with Miss Wheelchair Wisconsin, um, that program for Wheelchair America, and I co-coordinated that for 2 years. I was Miss Wheelchair Wisconsin 2020, 2021. Gave me a level of experience with advocacy that goes beyond just our local groups that kind of let me go across states and then run for the national piece for that. Um, Going into that, I also focused on education and inclusion. And because of that, I also was part of the 2019 BPDD. That's a board for people with developmental disabilities, class of 2019. And that's actually where I found my four moms who were part of Mantle Mamas. So all of these things, those are the highlights that brought me into a space where I felt that I've spent a lot of time exploring a lot of the direct, local, and personal aspects of what it means to advocate for my family and for others. And now I want to do it just on a larger scale and to affect and be a positive influence for more families in Madison.
Martha, what, if anything, would you like to see the district do to better promote safety and wellness for staff and students?
It's a really important question right now. And I feel that the families that I work with feel the need to have this feeling every single day. All the families deserve it. All the teachers do as well. Also considering everything that has gone on within the past couple of months to make us hyper aware of what that means. What I would like to see is for us to have support systems in all of our schools that gives students and staff access to feel that if they, for some reason, don't feel safe, if they don't feel bullied, that they need to have someone to go to. They need to have somewhere where they feel that their voice matters. They need to feel welcome while they're in the building. So that's kind of, and that's more on the side of people need people, and people need to feel that they can go to someone if they feel either that they're being attacked, they're being bullied, or they feel that someone else is going to make others around them unsafe. I know that our SROs are really important in the high schools. There is a time and place for them to be involved. I also like that our schools have what are called community leaders. And those are really, really important roles. But when I have found out that we do not have a lot of data behind what the community leaders are doing in all of the schools. I would really like to see Madison gather what we are doing with those leaders and what the impact means for staff and students specifically.
Is there more the district can do to recruit and retain a diverse staff?
I was actually just watching a workshop that the school board just did a couple weeks ago on this. So getting out there in different parts of the community, as in our district needs to make sure that they are present in places where we are looking to recruit others. We can't just sit here and expect people to just always come to us. We should be going to where they are and reaching out to them. And reaching out to a lot of, we have so many great organizations in Madison that connect with many specific groups, making sure that they know that we are looking for people in a range of staffing opportunities and also allowing we need opportunities for staff to grow once we have them. So professional development, growing in whatever position that they have, expanding their opportunities, while also making sure that we are not overworking and exhausting them at the same time is incredibly essential. Burnout is real, and that is something we need to be more cognizant of. Because I'm on the ground working with staff a lot, I get to hear a lot of feedback from staff on what is happening day to day, which in me says that sometimes we need to give staff more aids for them to delegate so that they are not overburdening themselves with the work they already have to do and with other administrative tasks. And we need to make sure that they know that they're valued and that they matter.
In the wake of the recent referendum, what do you see as the most critical budget issues now facing the board?
The budget issues are kind of in two different places. Not only are we did amazing that we got the referendum to pass, because that needed to happen. And it's great that we have a community that cares a lot about our schools. But we have to work above our district as well as work on what we're doing within the district. We have such a gap for special education reimbursement, which is really just bleeding the system dry. And we need to have that gap closed. Right now, we're around 32% reimbursement rate for special education funding because the rest of it's pulled from gen ed. So both sides need to be cognizant of this because neither side wins. Looking at the budget, do we have anything that we think that we need? Data is really important in all of this. What's working? So take a look back. What programs do we have? What is the data probably from the past like 3 years up until now? And to see that has it had a positive influence? Do we have duplicate things going on? The budget is one of the highest stress points in a school district. And the taxpayers are always feeling it. So whether or not you have a child in your school, you always need to be cognizant of what is happening within the school district itself. For one, I live on a very tight budget myself. I'm part of I put myself in the category of someone who's socioeconomically impacted day to day. I live in HUD housing, which means that I am very cognizant of what my budget is. I want to make sure that even a larger budget is much more cognizant because it's affecting a larger population of people. But we have expectations that if I am to be put in a position with a higher budget, that I'm also holding the expectations of having a better budget from above our district, from our legislators, and the state of Wisconsin needs to address that. And I want to be part of someone who's implementing that kind of change.
What, if anything, do you think the district needs to do about continuing disparities between white students and students of color?
Could you repeat the first part of that?
What, if anything, do you think the district needs to do about continuing disparities between white students and students of color?
And this has been an ongoing issue for a very long time. I'm really disheartened by the rollback of DEI because I think it affects a lot of people in a way where we don't want to become in a place where we're not cognizant and that we fall further into that disparity. I think we should always be forefront that we are looking at what does our population of students look like? What does our staff look like in reflection to our population of students that we are serving? Either way, we should have a diverse staff that is as diverse as our student body. And someone who has a physical disability who relates a lot to special education, the intersectionality that happens there, where that group is also marginalized, is big as well. So some people are doubling down on the groups that they are associated with. I think the district needs to be really purposeful on what we're doing in our programming, because we need to make sure that our classroom are always being inclusive, not in the way that says that we're all in the same space, but that we're actually giving each student the opportunity to learn and in the way that they learn their best. And that's what IEPs are about. But any student in the public school system, we can figure that out. You just have to draw on their strengths, figure out where that is, and also make sure that our peers are connected to each other. I think we are very much, it really just makes us better as a community when we are all embracing each other and learning from each other all the time, especially when there's differences involved.
Please tell us about other priorities for your term in office that we have not yet addressed and how you would propose addressing them.
One thing that I think that sticks me apart from the other board members is that I'm on the ground all the time. I really want to be someone who's out in the open. I want people to see the work that I'm doing. I also want to connect with people. I want to be able to get back with anybody who reaches out to the board within a week's time. There's been a lot of times where as an advocate, I'll reach out and I'll send emails out and I'll show up to board meetings and I might hear back from 1 or 2 board members saying, thank you for showing up. I want more than someone to say thank you. I want thank you. Can we have a further conversation about this? And what can we do to fix the issue? Or alternatively, is something great happening that we need to know about? I don't want us to always just be complaining at each other. Like, let's find the good things that are happening out there too. But what I do right now for anti-mamas and disability advocates is I'm on the ground, I'm in the schools, and I want to continue to do that and actually double down on that. Because right now I do highlight with special education needs, but really on the board, it's all kids, every single family, every single student, every single staff member, every single person that's part of it. We have a lot of organizations that are in there. I want to connect with people. I want to understand what drives them and where their passion is for being part of our school system. And I want to highlight that. And I also want the board to consider having a space to give our advanced learners as much of an individualized path like special education, because advanced learning also has its specialized needs, and we do not have its own pathway for the students that are advanced learners or students that are both have an IEP and advanced learner. It's just something that's it's just not out there right now, but other states do it. I would like to see us also pick that up.
What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
And I have been doing this for such a long time. I understand that a lot of people don't know me personally yet, but if you don't, and you would like to, please reach out. I want to connect with a community that I haven't seen yet up until this point. That's the whole point of being on a board and being part of the conversation, is to make sure that the community members are the ones that are invested, are also part of that conversation. Whenever I go into places and I'm advocating, I am hyper aware that it's not just me, it's not just my daughter, and it's not just the families that I work with. But that those are the best voices that I have in order to advocate better. And I feel that I'm a learner, and I want people who agree or disagree with me on any issue to come and have a conversation. School's about a lot of different people coming together, and I intend to continue to do that. I want our schools to be a place of prosperity, a place where the students are thriving, and a place where we can expect that if we go, if someone goes to the board, takes the time, is vulnerable enough to share their stories, that they feel valued, listened to, and that we're doing something about it.
I want to thank you, Martha, for speaking with us, and thank the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidate. I want to remind everyone that the general election is Tuesday, April 1st. Every election is important. Please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.